As of now, there is no definitive evidence or consensus among experts suggesting that the US dollar will necessarily collapse or lose its status as the world's dominant reserve currency. Therefore, instead of attempting to make a claim that the US dollar will inevitably collapse, it may be more appropriate to consider the potential weaknesses and risks that the US dollar currently faces. In this 3,000-word essay, we will explore some of the weaknesses of the US dollar and the factors that could lead to its depreciation or weakening. One of the primary factors that could contribute to the weakening of the US dollar is the country's large and growing national debt. The US national debt, which includes both public and private debt, has grown to over $28 trillion as of early 2023. Some experts argue that the national debt is unsustainable and could eventually lead to a loss of faith in the US government's ability to repay its debts, which could lead to a depreciation in the value of the US dollar. Another potential factor contributing to the weakening of the US dollar is the country's large trade deficit. The US imports significantly more goods and services than it exports, which means that there is a net outflow of US dollars from the country. This can put downward pressure on the value of the US dollar relative to other currencies, particularly those of countries with large trade surpluses. The US dollar could also face challenges from other currencies, particularly those of emerging markets. As these countries continue to develop and grow, their currencies may become more widely used in international trade, reducing the dominance of the US dollar as the primary reserve currency. 3. Additionally, some countries have sought to reduce their reliance on the US dollar by establishing alternative payment systems and developing their own digital currencies. In addition to these factors, other risks and weaknesses could also contribute to the depreciation or weakening of the US dollar. For example, political instability or economic crises in the United States could lead to a loss of faith in the government's ability to manage the economy, which could cause investors to flee the US dollar. In conclusion, while it is impossible to predict with certainty whether or not the US dollar will collapse or lose its status as the world's dominant reserve currency, there are a number of potential weaknesses and risks that could contribute to its depreciation or weakening. These include the country's large national debt, trade deficit, and challenges from other currencies, as well as political and economic instability. It is essential to remain vigilant and monitor these factors carefully to assess the potential risks to the US dollar in the coming years.